everybody. I'm Debbie, and I am a baby boomer. Now, baby boomers were born between 1946 and 1964. So are there any baby boomers out there? Yeah! Well, we had a lot of fun in the 60s, and some of us let that fun carry on over into the 70s, and some of us are still having fun, like these people at this table right here. Yeah, we are. You know, but things happen when you get older, and I don't mind getting older, but it's kind of scary. I mean, when you were younger, it was 2 or 3 in the morning, and the bars closed. We're all out in the parking lot looking for our car. Well, now that we're older, it's 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and we're in a Kroger's parking lot looking for our car. My husband and I were in a Kroger parking lot one day for 3 hours, and we realized we drove my car, not his.
Unfortunately, it's a true story.
It's really, really sad. And another thing about getting older, have you ever lost a particular item somewhere in your house? You're looking everywhere, room to room, up, down, all around. Okay, when you're younger, eventually you find it. It might be under a box of empty pizza cartons or a pile of empty beer bottles or some dirty laundry, but you find it. But when you get older, one of 2 things happens. Number 1, after all that looking, hours and hours and hours, you finally realize you forgot what the hell you were looking for. And number 2, after all those hours of looking everywhere, you realize the item you're looking for is right here in your hand. That's really, really scary, I'm telling you. And it just seems like yesterday I was a youngster. I mean, I'm the oldest of 6 kids. I had a very traditional family. My father was Italian, my mother was German and Swiss. I learned a lot about my heritage growing up. In fact, I can boast that I can dance a tarantella, do the polka, and yodel all at the same time. I'm a big hit at wedding receptions, but I'll tell you, people tend to shy away from me in nightclubs. And another thing about growing up in the 50s, I went to Catholic school. Now let me tell you, Catholic school in the 50s was really strict. And the school I went to, the nuns that run that school, were from the Sisters of the Holy Order of S&M. They wore black leather habits. Mother Superior had a mustache, and she wore spurs on the back of her shoes. And she drove a Harley Davidson. It was scary. But you know, I was always getting in trouble. They were always sending me over to the priest next door at the church to go to confession for something or another. And I remember this one particular time, Sister Mary Margarita, who, by the way, is named after the patron saint of alcoholic beverages. And I see you guys know her very well. Well, anyway, I go next door to the church, and I'm in confession. Bless me, Father, for I've sinned. My last confession was yesterday. The priest says, now what did you do? I said, well, Father, it's just, I can't help it. I'm laughing, and it's just so ridiculous. These nuns and their habits, it's just so funny. He said, you think that's funny? You should see them naked without the habits. Now, that's funny. Hey, you weren't there. And he said, now, child, you need to be careful. Don't make Mother Superior sad and mad, because I happen to know from a reliable source that she has a cat o' nine tails hanging on a little hook behind a broom closet in the convent. And I hear she can really let that thing fly. And it really hurts. I know I have some welts in my back I'm trying to get rid of right now. Okay, now here's your penance. Say 3 Hail Marys, 3 Our Fathers, and I want 3 Polaroid pictures of your little brother in the bathtub. Hey, I didn't take, we never took baths back then. It was a pig. So, you know, it's, one thing, you know, I thought, when I got out of school, what do I want to be? I wanted to be something that I could be devoted and dedicated, and something that provided service to others, something I could be proud of. For a while, I thought I wanted to be a nun, but that was mainly because I liked the smell of black leather. Then I thought maybe a nurse or a teacher or a stripper. But none of those seemed to work, so I combined all of them together, and I became a wife. Now that worked out really good for about 19 years till one day I was let go with no notice. So, you know, I was back in the dating game. Here I've been married 19 years. I thought, well, how am I going to find out who I'm compatible with? I mean, they didn't have Match.com back then. So I devised what I call the Woodstock test. If someone wanted to go out with me, I said, what is Woodstock? Now, if they said Woodstock was a festival back in 1969, 3 days of peace, love, and music, I might go out with them. But if they said Woodstock was the little yellow bird that slept on top of Snoopy's doghouse, I knew they were way too young for me, kind of like this lady with this guy right here. And another thing I did back then, I quit smoking. I was hypnotized to quit smoking. I mean, and it really, really worked, but there are some slight side effects. Sometimes I bark like a dog when the phone rings. I have a tendency to chase cars and trucks down the highway. And sometimes I get a sudden urge to snip people's asses. But I don't smoke cigarettes. Now, it was about this time that I met my second husband, Corky. Now, Corky's his nickname, and I'm not going to go into how he got that name and what his real name is, because that's a whole different show in itself. But we went to high school together, and we never dated. He dated everybody around me, all my friends, but he never dated me. I mean, he had a band, and he was really wild. I'm his third wife. I could have saved him a lot of trouble if he just married me first. But, you know, he sowed a lot of wild oats, but now, at age 57, he just eats oatmeal. And, you know, sometimes he complains a lot. He goes, oh, you know, we're getting older, my back hurts, my head hurts, I'm constipated, my balls hurt. And I said, Corky, would you shut up? I heard Dr. Kevorkian got out of jail a couple months ago. Would you like me to get your gift certificate for your birthday? I haven't heard a peep out of him since. And you know, another thing about getting older, you know, it's hard to be sexy after the age of 50. I mean, it's really hard. Now, what's with this thong underwear? Who in the hell invented that? It's not for people over 50. I throw away underwear that does that to me. But I decided, hey, I'm going to spice up my love life, so I got my husband Corky a pair of thong underwear. And I said, Corky, so put these on. So I went, put them on, and he came out, and I looked at him, I said, oh my God. He goes, what? I said, you got them on backwards. Take them off. Go put that apron on, get the feather duster up in the closet, and do some housework. Now that really turns me on. And you know, Corky's he's great. He cooks, he cleans, he sews, he does dishes. I mean, grocery shopping. He's great. He's the best wife I could ever have. Yes. And you know, class reunions are really scary when you get older like me. And I went to my 35th class reunion. Now that was scary. I never saw so many bald heads, sagging jowls, pot bellies, and that was just the nuns. You should see my classmates. That's all I have in my head.
Good job for Dave Shaw.